Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sarah Pavan.
And I'm Adam.
And today we're watching Attack on Titan Season 1, Episode 11, called Icon, The Battle for Trost, Part 7.
So, we saw Armin providing value, not getting through to the moron who was leading the troops, but fortunately, Pixis, the chess master, showed up, gave them a chance, and Armin has a plan, but we're not sure if Eren can actually execute it, and it seems like his life might be on the line.
He committed to trying his best though. He needs, last episode we were talking about if he can channel this transformation on command, that would be so clutch. But he's still at the beginning phases, so we're gonna see how he works through that. Armin, I loved the role reversal in that he was just talking about how Eren and Mikasa have always had his back, have always taken care of him, protected him and stuff. And the way that he stepped up and basically stated that he was willing to risk his life to protect them was like so great and beautiful to see him be able to like repay the favor, I guess.
And he's gonna grow in confidence because of that. Like feeling like you can accomplish something and you are contributing to a team, like just allows you to keep going and kind of lean into your strengths. So I'm excited to see, what were we gonna say?
Well, he came up with the plan
right
in episode 8, which showcased like his intelligence, his observational skills, and then what he did in episode 10 was like bravery. Because he's always considered himself kind of like weak or cowardly or whatever, but like he was able to show his version of bravery.
Yeah. So I'm curious to see how much leeway Pixis gives them. I'm curious to see if Eren can figure out how to do the transformation. I think he's gonna have to hop down and like a Titan's gonna come, he's gonna need to find some kind of heightened emotional state to actually make the transformation. And the other piece I'm curious of, is he aware enough to execute an actual plan versus just fighting off instinct? Like we still don't really know if he's cognizant of what he's doing or how he thinks through when he's in charge of the Titan shell. So
fair.
There's a couple question marks to executing this plan here. I'm curious to see how that goes.
Well, so far, the 2 times that we have seen him transform, it has been like, this is a life or death situation. Right. If you don't do this, you're done for. So I don't know if that is like...
the trigger.
The trigger, yeah.
Moving the rock is definitely, it's life or death in the long term, but not for him in the moment.
Not immediately, yeah.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
We're moving and shaking through this, everybody. We are very excited. I'm stoked to get started with this episode. So here we go. Season 1, Episode 11 of Attack on Titan is coming right now.
Trost 謎の巨人の力を発動させたエレン・イェーガーの姿は同志である兵士たちを恐怖させるのに十分だった。
自分は人間です。
彼は人類の敵ではありません。人類の栄光を願い、これから死にゆく全てもの間に彼の戦術価値を研ぎます。ただ自分を主張するしかないエレンたちを救ったのはドット・ピクシス、南側領土最高責任者だった。
わしはあの者らの話を聞いた方がいい気がするの。やりません。穴を塞げるかどうかは分かりません。でもやります。
You better.
よう言ったの。主は男じゃ。参謀予防。作戦を立てようぞ。
そんな、いくらなんでも川山用ですらない思いつきなのに いきなり実用するなんて。
俺もそう思ったが、でもその判断をいぶかっても意味がない。ピクシス司令は今の俺たちに見えないものを見ようとしているんだろう。
見えないもの。
それに多分作戦を実行する以前に根本的な問題がある。司令はその現状を正しく認識してる。
つまり
敵は巨人だけじゃない。
時は一刻を争う。
Can we get this guy a left boot, please?
兵士たちよ。
Does he mean the government is their enemy?
I was kind of wondering the same thing, and I'm not entirely sure, but something else.
Well, have we encountered anything other than the nobility or government that could be? Like, am I missing something?
Well, I think the fact that they've seen a human can transform into a Titan leaves a lot of questions. Is there another faction who's doing it? Are they humans? Are they being attacked by something else? Like, it opens up a lot of questions that probably nobody was thinking about until they saw what he could do. So that, although I agree, and I don't know whether the government is like a selfish, just protect us because I'm the king, and that's the other faction, but they're not working against it, they're just selfish. Or if they're thinking there might be somebody actively trying to harm them. TBD.
トロストク奪還作戦だと。嘘だろ。扉に開いた穴を塞ぐ技術なんかないのに。
俺は何考えてんだ。トロストクに入ったって無駄死にだろ。
穴を塞げない以上、ウォールローゼの扉を死守するしかないってのに。
畜生、そんなに手柄が欲しいのかよ。
まだあの地獄に。
嫌だ、死にたくねえ。家族に会わせてくれ。
おいパザ、声が大きいぞ。
そこのお前、聞こえたぞ。貴様、任務を放棄する気か。そうです。この無意味な集団自殺には。
Wasn't that like treason and then you're gonna die anyway?
You can't let that guy do that because everyone else is gonna do
規
that.
律を何だと思っている。私にはこの場で死刑を下す権限があるんだぞ。いいですよ。その方が巨人に食い殺されるより100倍マシです。
よせ、だぜ。
やめろ、離せ。あんなところに戻ってたまるか。
You gotta nip that in the bud right away.
こんな状況じゃ無理もないだろう。
It's not good for morale.
If you're a deserter though, can't he
Yeah.
just said he could kill him?
おい、お前ら。やれ。派手にやれ。できるだけ大勢で。
Why don't you do it?
我ら駐屯兵団の中にも不満を持った者は多い。騒ぎにびっくりしてここを去る。
ここを去ってどこに行くんですか。
娘に会いに行くんだよ。どうせこの壁も破られるのだから。
So their inside wall rose now, right?
人類は種族や断りの違う者同士で果てのない殺し合いを続けていたと言われておる。
Yeah.
その時に誰かが言ったそうな。もし人類以外の強大な敵が現れたら、人類は一丸となり争いをやめるだろうと。お主はどう思うかの。
そんな言い伝えがあるんですか。それは随分とのんきですね。あくびが出ます。
お主もわしと同じで品性がひん曲がっておる。
その強大な敵にここまで追い詰められた今でも一つになったとは言い難い状況だと思いますので。
ああ、そろそろ一つにならんとな。戦うことも難しいじゃろうて。
エレン。
無事だったか。
任務に集中しろだと。あいつめ、上官に向かってなんて態度だ。
You know he's 20. I need a boot.
ミカサのある意味も無事だろうな。しかし、なぜエレンが司令の横に。
お主もやるか。
頂戴します。
Yeah, that's not water.
やるぞ。
Oh, he does have a boot. Perfect. So worried about that.
It's voice enhancing liquid he's got there.
これよりトロストク奪還作戦について説明する。この作戦の成功目標は破壊された扉の穴を塞ぐことである。
塞ぐって、一体どうやって。
穴を塞ぐ手段じゃが、まず彼から紹介しよう。訓練兵所属エレン・イエーガーじゃ。
エレン。
彼は我々が極秘に研究してきた巨人化生体実験の成功者である。彼は巨人の身体を生成し、
Can he?
意のままに操ることが可能である。
なあ、今指令が何言ってんのか分かんなかったが、それは俺がバカだからじゃねえよな。
ちょっと黙っていてくれ、バカ。
Yes.
巨人と化した彼は全門付近にある例の大岩を持ち上げ、破壊された扉まで運び、穴を塞ぐ。
Wow. Atlas.
諸君らの任務は彼が岩を運ぶまでの間、彼を他の巨人から守ることである。
巨人と戦う必要がない。
すみません。一階の訓練兵が口を挟んでしまって。
構わん。話を続けたまえ。
はい。巨人は通常より多数の人間に反応して迫ってくるので、それを利用して大勢でおびき寄せて壁際に集めることができれば、大部分は巨人と接触せずにエレンから遠ざけることができると思います。またおびき寄せた巨人たちは後で大砲を利用して損害を出さずに倒せます。ただし
That's Commander
エレンを
Energy.
無防備にするわけにもいかないので、少数精鋭の班で彼を守るべきだと思います。それに穴から入ってくる巨人との戦闘も避けられません。そこは精鋭班の技量にかかっています。
よし、分かった。そこを踏まえて練り直そう。
ただこの作戦はエレンが確実に岩を運んで穴を塞ぐことが前提です。その確証が乏しいまま作戦を決行することにはやはり疑問を感じるのですが。
確かに根幹の部分が不確かなまま大勢を死地に向かわせることに何も感じないわけではないが、ピクシス司令の考えも理解できる。
ええ、一つは時間の問題ね。今現在も巨人が町に入り続けてる。町に巨人が充満するほど奪還作戦の成功率は絶望的になるわ。
それに加えてウォールローゼが突破される確率も高くなっていくな。
それともう一つ、人が恐怖を原動力にして進むには限界があるわ。
Okay, I'm gonna rewind here a little bit
Rewind.
to Pixis's discussion with Aaron.
Mm-hmm.
I found the wording very interesting.
Which part?
When before the Titans existed, there was the war similar to what we see in society today. But then he followed that up with, the thought was, if a superior being could enter the equation, humanity would rally together. Do you think he's implying that Titans were contracted by humans? I know you kind of alluded to it last episode or the one before, but that statement of like where society and humanity was and the intention of where they wanted it to go makes it seem like this was a human creation.
I definitely have not ruled out that possibility. And I find it very interesting because I've actually thought about that in today's society.
Oh.
What? You have all of these different nations trying to accomplish the same thing but competing with each other. Like what would happen, I don't know, this is a rabbit hole theory, but like if aliens came, like how quickly could we do something, or there was an asteroid coming to destroy the world? Like what could we accomplish if we stopped competing with each other and everybody worked together.
But like, it just begs the question, like, at what point does human nature just win out, and to what extent are humans just innately selfish creatures?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great...
And this is what we're seeing in this society where there was a superior being and you still see humans looking out for themselves or...
Yeah. What's the difference between an individual being selfish and being scared and the people who are making kind of wholesale decisions, being able to see the big picture and work together? You're never going to be able to stop people from being terrified. Like, they're scared. They don't want to go die for nothing.
No,
they
and
want to see their families.
I'm not equating fear with selfishness. Like,
Yeah.
that's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Which I know it will be interpreted that way by some people. That is not what I'm saying. But...
Yeah. No, it's an interesting question. And Aaron's ability to transform makes me think that there's a higher likelihood that this was maybe self-inflicted. The one other thing I wanted to ask you is, do you think he knows about Aaron's dad's experiments?
Pixis?
Yeah. Or do you think he was just creating a story around it to give people hope? Like, hey, this was a plan, like some of us knew about it, we know about his ability, it's not just coming out of left field, like those of you who aren't in the know, like this has always been a thing. Or do you think he's attached to information somewhere that nobody else knows?
This is assuming that Dr. Yeager's doing what we think he's doing.
Correct. Or
Which
somebody,
we're not sure.
Or somebody within the government. Like, it's probably not him alone, but you have to think there's always some mad scientist trying to gain an advantage somewhere in every war. That's just a thing.
Yes.
Something to think about.
最大魔を持ち上げる。そんなことが人類はついに巨人を支配したのか。嘘だ。そんなわけのわからない理由で命を預けてたまるか。俺たちを何だと思ってるんだ。俺たちは使い捨ての刃じゃないぞ。
That's kind of what you signed up for.
昔に決まってんだろ。バカにしやがって。今日ここで死ねってよ。俺は降りるぞ。俺もだ。俺も降りるぞ。待て。貴様、死罪だぞ。人類最後の時を家族と過ごします。まずいなこれは。
このままじゃ秩序
Look
がな
where
く
you
なる。
started.
覚悟いいな反撃者ども。今この場で叩き切る。
This guy just wants to kill everybody.
わしが命ずる。今この場から去る者の罪を免除する。一度巨人の恐怖に屈した者は二度と巨人に立ち向かえん。巨人の恐ろしさを知った者はここから去るがいい。そしてその巨人の恐ろしさを自分の親や兄弟、愛する者に味わわせたい者もここから去るがいい。それだけはダメだ。娘は私の最後の希望なのだから。4年前の話をしよう。オールマリア奪還作戦の話じゃ。あえてわしが言わんでも分かっておると思うがの。奪還作戦といえば聞こえはいいが、要は政府が抱えきれんかった大量の失業者の口減らしじゃった。皆がそのことに口をつぐんでおるのは、彼らを壁の外に追いやったおかげで我々はこの狭い壁の中を生き抜くことができたからじゃ。
It's probably risky for him to admit that.
Yeah.
わしを含め人類すべてに罪がある。ウォールマリアの住人が少数であったがため争いは表面化しなかった。しかし今度はどうじゃ。このウォールローゼが破られれば人類の2割の口減らしをするだけじゃ済まんぞ。ウォールシーナの中だけでは残された人類の半分も養えん。人類が滅ぶのならそれは巨人に食い尽くされるのが原因ではない。人間同士の殺し合いで滅ぶ。我々はここより奥の壁で死んではならん。 どうかここで死んでくれ。
あの巨人の力で岩を持ち上げられるかどうかはわからない。でも俺の役割は理解している。偽物かもしれないけど、それでも成功させなければならない。俺はならなきゃいけないんだ。みんなの希望に。
That's a big responsibility.
揃ったようじゃな。諸君らの任務は一つじゃ。エレン・イェーガーの護衛につき、作戦過程で起きるあらゆるリスクを排除すること。本作戦中最も危険かつ難度の高い任務じゃろう。諸君らの働きいかんによって人類の命運が決まると言っても過言ではない。
司令、
Are those ashes flying around or
I think so.
embers?
なんじゃ。
人間兵器とやらは本当に機能するのですか？
よせリコ。
あなただって疑念を抱いてるんでしょ。
司令、この作戦はエレン・イェーガーという恐ろしく曖昧な根拠の上に成り立っています。もし奴が機能しなければ多くの兵が無駄に死ぬことに。
困ったの。お主らそんなに巨人に負けるのが好きか。わしは嫌いじゃぞ。わしは負けることが何よりも嫌いじゃ。だが兄計らんや。生まれてこの方負け続けておる。わしは巨人に勝ちたい。あのデクノボーどもに何としても勝ちたいんじゃ。
それは私たちも同じです。
ならば彼にかけるしかなかろう。お主らの言う恐ろしく曖昧な根拠だけが巨人に勝ちうる唯一の可能性なんじゃからな。
司令、そろそろおとり作戦開始時刻です。
Okay, I have a question.
Hit me.
I know you kind of alluded to this being maybe all of them are controlled by humans. Do you think that's why the neck or the base of the neck is so vulnerable? Because that's where the human sits, which is controlling everything. And by destroying the bottom of the neck, you're killing the human that's controlling it.
I've never thought about that. It's a good theory. But I don't think they've actually killed one of them that are like Aaron's size. Because he was bigger than the normal dopey ones. Like we haven't seen him.
Mikasa killed a whole bunch and she cut the back of the neck of every single one.
No, I know. And I think that's how you kill the littler one.
It was just a theory.
I don't know, because we haven't seen if those are controlled by humans or not. That was kind of my point.
Well, we don't know if they are at all. I'm just
Yeah.
throwing it out there.
True. But I think that might sever the connection, which I agree. And I'm trying to remember where Aaron came out of its body.
Back of its neck.
I think that's a good theory then.
Only if they're all controlled by humans, and if not, well, forget that.
No, but I like where your head's at.
イアン・ディートリッヒ、リコ・プレツェンスカ、ミタビ・ヤルナッハ。お主らは駐屯兵団の中でも精鋭中の精鋭じゃ。人類の命運は託したぞ。イアン、お主が部隊の指揮を取れ。現場の判断は全て委ねよう。
私がですか？
異論はないよ。
俺もだ。しかし私の力量では。
That's exactly why you should do it.
お主は酒の味がわかる。美酒も悪酒もどちらの味もの任せたぞ。
エレン、すまない。結局エレンに全ての責任を負わせることになった。
さっき
Well,
言
you
った
also
だろ。
kept him alive.
お前には正解を導く力があるって。俺はそれを信じるよ。
エレン、やはり私も。
ついてくるなんて言うなよ。お前はおとり部隊に配属されたんだろ。
でもエレンを一人にはできない。一人になったらまた。
いい加減にしろ。俺はお前の弟でも子供でもねえ。そう言ったはずだ。
赤マン
Being a little harsh.
お前もイエーガーを守る精鋭班に入るお前の腕が必要だ
Take that!
作戦開始だ
じゃあなアルミ死ぬなよ
Did they even say goodbye?
エレンも
I mean, Mikasa's pretty elite even though she's
Yeah,
the beginner.
I was a little surprised she wasn't in that group to begin with.
極秘人間兵器とか言ってたが穴を塞げるなら何でもいいお前を最優先で守れ頼んだぞ
はい
エレン体は大丈夫
あ
エレン
あだから大丈夫だって囲まれてた時よりだいぶマシだままごとやってんじゃないぞ家がそんなつもりは
お前みたいな甘えたガキに人類の命運をかけなきゃならんとはな
Okay.
お前たちいい加減にしろもうすぐ岩までの最短ルートだ今見える限りでは巨人はいない皆がうまくおとりをやっているんだろう
Idiots.
いいか町の隅に誘導するだけでいい無駄な戦闘は避けろ
一つ言っておくぞイエガーこの作戦で決して少なくはない数の兵が死ぬことになるだろうあんたのためにな
You guys, like, come
それ
on.
は私たちの同僚や先輩や後輩の兵士たちだ当然兵士である以上死は覚悟の上だだがな彼らは物言わぬ駒じゃない
待てまだだもう少し離脱
彼らには名前があり家族がありその分だけの思いがあるアリョシャドミニクフィーネイザベルルードヴィヒマルティナギドハンスみんな血の通った人間だ訓練兵時代から同じ釜の飯を食ってるやつもいるそんな彼らの多くが今日あんたのために死ぬことになるだろうあんたには彼らの死を犬死ににさせてはいけない責任がある何があろうとなそのことを甘えた心に刻めそして死ぬ気で責任を果たせ
はいやってやる
I don't think anybody's denying or trying to contradict what she's saying. Like, everybody's aware. But what other option do they have? Like, nobody has a plan. Nobody has ever come up with a solution to try to, like, nobody knows what to do. But then to, like, lay that all on at his feet, I feel like is a little unfair because nobody's come up with anything and everyone's probably gonna die anyway, you know?
Yeah. I can see where she's coming from.
I can see where she's coming from because, like, her friends are part of the decoy group or whatever, but, like, what?
I think probably it's more from because remember, how old is he right now?
What is he, like 15 now?
So you have all of these seasoned soldiers who are just supposed to expect this 15-year-old is going to save them. She just wants him to know and to understand the gravity of...
I think everybody's aware.
Yeah, I know, but it's... Again, they don't know anything about him. They don't know that if he feels responsible. They don't know... It's just a, hey, you need to understand, even as a 15-year-old, what the rest of us are doing and what this means. I mean, you're running to your death and you're speaking your mind. I don't know.
Again, I'm like, I think everybody in this situation understands the gravity.
Yeah.
And even though he is a kid, like, I think he gets it. He was literally swallowed by a titan.
Yeah. What did you think of Pixis' speech? I meant to ask you that before.
What part? I mean...
Just being so blunt and honest about it.
Well, I don't really think there's another way to go about the situation.
I agree. Yeah.
It's like you have seen the destruction, you have felt the fear that this causes. Yeah, you can take that with you, but you're just gonna take it back to your family.
Yeah. What about the fact of acknowledging that they culled everybody else?
What?
Like that they basically said the decision was made to kill those populations so everybody else could survive.
I think that was a bold move, because if they do come out of this and word gets back to the people who made those decisions, he could probably pay dearly for revealing that information, or like making it so clear to people of what was happening.
Yeah.
I'm sure there were people who had assumptions and kind of maybe felt like that, but like to put it so black and white, it's definitely a risk on his part, but he's like, whatever.
I mean, at this point,
I might die anyway, so.
Yeah, everybody was deserting maybe that hint of honesty, or like, this is what happened last time because they took the wall. If it happens again, like, this is the reality of our situation.
Well, sure, you're going to be fighting each other for resources, and then you're not going to survive anyway. So, what do you choose?
I just thought it was interesting. Ooh, the boulder.
人類が巨人に勝ったことは一度もない。巨人が進んだ分だけ人類は後退を繰り返し領土を奪われ続けてきた。しかしこの作戦が成功した時、人類は初めて巨人から領土を奪い返すことに成功する。ここだ、行くぞ。その時が人類が初めて巨人に勝利する瞬
I
間
like
で
that
あ
he's
ろう。
speaking in absolutes, like this will happen.
Yeah.
緑の演弾を確認。精鋭班作戦行動に入りました。
それはこれまで人類が奪われてきたものに比べれば例えようもなく小さなものかもしれん。しかしその一歩は我々人類にとっての大きな進撃になる。
What?
I'm a little surprised
I'm
he was able to do
shocked.
that. Not a smooth landing.
Whoa.
Human の比率で考えればあの岩を持ち上げられるとは思えないけど、きっとエレンには私たちを導く強い力がある。エレン？
I think the plan just went sideways.
That was a command performance, though.
Yeah, I somehow thought he was gonna have trouble transforming.
Yes, I didn't think it would be that smooth at all. Because it didn't seem like he necessarily, I mean, we don't know about the, like, original incident, but it didn't seem like he necessarily ever planned it.
Yeah. He did manage to do it under duress of cannon fire, which I thought might have been a reaction. But, I mean...
What, the second time?
Yeah.
That's what I mean. That was a life or death situation.
Right. Yeah.
Wow, I'm shocked that he managed to pull that off just like mid-air, like, and go. But I'm not convinced that he's turning. I think that he sensed something bad in the building.
Oh.
I have faith in our guy, okay?
Well, and I was kind of wondering, like, how much control does he have? Does he fight on instinct? Is he, like, this is a very specific objective. This was kind of what I was wondering at the beginning of, if he transforms, like, how much does he lose of his cognitive ability? I like your theory better, though. I hope it's right.
I hope it's right, too, because he has to execute this mission.
But I do think that Pixis' statement of, like, getting a victory would be huge for morale. Because the army is... You can only accept and take being beaten so much before you start to feel
Yeah.
despair and
Yeah.
everything else. So I really hope he pulls a Titan out of that building by the neck.
Not even a Titan, but maybe just like a rogue soldier who's like, you know what, screw this plan. I'm gonna kill this guy.
Because it kind of looks like he basically punched Mikasa in the face.
Kind of. I have to believe that it's gonna work. Otherwise...
What a great episode.
I
say
mean,
that
every
time.
episode's a great episode. There was a lot to talk about, though.
Yeah, and that
a
was
lot of like maybe Easter eggs, but we decided that they were Easter eggs and just ran with them. But maybe they're nothing. So
I'm waiting for someone to tell me that it's like the red eyes with the bread and the wolf. Be like, no, obviously people can't transform into wolves. But they can transform into Titans, so
I know, but they were like, you guys, you're so stupid. Like, she clearly is a human that was just like showing how hungry she was. Meanwhile, he's like turning into a Titan. It's like normal. Like, I'm sorry.
That was fun.
Good episode. Let us know what you're thinking, but don't let us know too much. I say this every single episode. So regardless, hit us up in the comments below. We want to know your thoughts. And as always, we'd be so excited if you would like this video, subscribe to my channel, and stay tuned for more Attack on Titan coming next week. Bye.